everyone, my name is Sam. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. So if you're new here, I make videos about lifestyle, my college experience, and anything that's been getting on my nerves for the past week. Also, I'm uploading every Saturday at 10 a.m. So if you're into all that, hit that subscribe button down below. Also, happy Pride Month, everyone. I forgot to say this in my last video. I recorded that weeks in advance and it just slipped my mind. Again, I hope everyone's staying safe. I know the government is steady doing weird stuff, so I just hope everyone is just staying safe. All that said, let's get into the video. So today I'm going to be talking about how I take notes on my iPad. Well, starting my second semester of college, I started note taking on my iPad. I wanted to share with y'all how my process is, how I organize things, what apps I use, and all of that. Also, I did a what's on my iPad video last week. It'll be up in the cards and in the description down below, so go ahead and check that out. Okay, so when I started taking notes on my iPad, I used the app called OneNote. I don't really have anything open right now. I think I logged out of my account. It got the job done, but it didn't have that many tools that I could use. So now I use GoodNotes 5. I think it costs about $7.99 on the App Store. So I guess it's a little bit pricey when it comes to apps, but it's kind of worth it with all the features that you get. But yeah, there are tons of other apps. I think there's another one called Notability. I think that one's good, but you still have to pay for it. But if you don't really want to pay for any app, I guess you could use OneNote. But paying for one of the note-taking apps will give you a better experience. So next we go on to how I take notes. So how I take notes is really dependent on how professor teaches. So say for example, the professor likes skimming through all the PowerPoints and talks really fast. I might not have the time to write everything down, so I'll probably resort to just type everything on my laptop, and then after class is over, I'll transfer them onto my iPad. So what I'm going to show you is the best case scenario when I have enough time to write down everything that I need. I wrote a template down beforehand, so it would be easier to explain and it'll take up less time. So I watched a lot of note-taking videos, and some of them are like really elaborate, like you do calligraphy and stuff. I really don't have the time or patience for that, so I just kind of stick to the format you see here. I mostly do bullet points. So how I structure my notes is in bullet point form. So here is the title of the page or whatever I'm writing. And next we have the subheading will be like topic names or anything else. And the bullet points will be describing all the subjects pertaining to that topic. So we got first, second, third bullet point form. And if one of the bullet points have some extra information attached to them, I'll put them, like I'll do this kind of bullet thing. However you type bullet points on a document, that's basically how I write them down. And also if there's like a diagram or something, I'll take up a whole section of it, because I feel like that's just easier than trying to fit a diagram and trying to wrap text around it. Compared to all the other videos I've seen, this is like really simple. Like if you're watching this video, you've probably seen how other people take notes. They have all the calligraphy and stuff. They do all the designs and stuff. But I really don't have the time. My handwriting is not that good. I rather just keep it simple and just have everything bullet point form. So feel free to use this as a template to take notes. Okay, so here's my script for this video. So my handwriting is not that good on the iPad, but it's because it's a slippery surface, so you have to get used to that. In general, my handwriting is not that neat. If you can't make anything out, I'm sorry. Here you can see I have the topic and I have all my bullet points laid out. Don't go reading into this because I'm still gonna go into the stuff. This is generally how my notes look most of the time. And if I have to draw a diagram or whatever, I just make enough space in between these bullet point forms to fit that. So that's how I take notes on my iPad. So now I'm gonna talk about some study tips that I've learned throughout my college experience and some general note-taking tips you have to keep in mind. Okay, so tip number 1, summarize your notes. When you summarize your notes or put in your own words, it helps you check your understanding and make sure you understand what they're talking about. 2, quiz yourself often. So this came from my psychology professor. So trying to recall information from time to time helps you retain that information. That's probably why quizzes were invented in the first place. Yeah, so if you're in a studying session, just sit down. So try to make some questions that make you recall the information that you've just learned or written down. Tip number 3, study for the long term, not just to pass that test. So like when I was starting out, I used to like just cram information the week before a test. And that helps in some cases, but for the long term, it doesn't help you at all. Like for me, I tend to lose the information right after I finish that test. Make sure you're studying so you retain that information for a long time. So most likely in your senior year, you might have to recall some information you learned your first semester in college. So studying for the long term will help you retain the information longer. Okay, tip number 4, take a break. So I personally cannot study for a straight hour. I have to take a break at some point. So whenever I had an issue on some homework, I just took a step back and just relaxed for a quick minute. Once I get back into it, I felt that it was much easier to complete that work. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, if you have that problem where you're just stuck on something, just take a break. And also when you're studying, don't just study for 2 straight hours. You should at least take a break every 30 minutes. Okay, this kind of goes into my 5th and final point, is don't study the same subjects for 2 straight hours. This also came from my professor. What she told us is that studying multiple subjects at a time actually helps you retain the information better. So say you have to study math, science, or reading homework. Instead of dedicating 2 hours to each subject, it's better to like flip-flop in between subjects during a studying period. I don't know if I still have those slides. I'll probably go look for them. If I do, I'll probably make a short video about them, so stay tuned for that.